Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for supporting me, guys. Big news. Ryan Garcia says I will beat Shakur Stevenson. At last Saturday night's post-fight press conference after his 8th round KO victory over the flawed-looking Oscar Duarte, light welterweight Ryan Garcia said he would beat Shakur Stevenson. There is a lot of doubt on social media in the aftermath of Ryan's poor performance against Duarte last night that he would last more than 2 or 3 rounds against a talented fighter like Shakur Stevenson. The difference in skill levels would be too much for Ryan to hang with Shakur unless he treated it like a sparring match like Gervonta did for the most part in his fight with the influencer last April. Is Shakur too talented for Ryan Garcia? As bad as the 26-year-old Shakur looked in his last fight against Edwin de los Santos on November 16th, he is still worlds better than Ryan Garcia and makes easy work of him. Golden Boy will try their best to ensure Ryan gets nowhere near Shakur. He is been a hater since the majors, and I will fight him. I will beat his ass, I promise you that, said Shakur Stevenson at the post-fight press conference, taking a verbal shot at Shakur Stevenson in response to his failing to praise his performance against his hand-picked lower-tier opponent Oscar Duarte. If Ryan is going to fight Shakur, he will need to do it soon for it to be a matchup that interests in the boxing world. Waiting to make that bout would be a mistake on Ryan's part because the chances are high that he will lose to WBA light welterweight champion Rolando Romero next, if that's the fight he takes. Rolly is obviously a terrible fighter and the weakest of the current champions at 140, but he can punch and he is better than Ryan. The sparring video of the two on YouTube shows that Rolly was dominating Ryan, making him look bad. Unfortunately, Ryan has shown little improvement since the time he sparred with Rolly, and he would get beaten if they fight next. What we learned from watching the performance of the 25-year-old Ryan Garcia last night is that he is still essentially just a prospect, definitely not a contender-level fighter at 140, someone that must be carefully maneuvered by Golden Boy to keep him from losing. The way that Ryan looked against Duarte, a fighter vetted by his coach Derek James, he would lose badly to Shakur, as well as many of the lightweights, and of course most of the top 15 light welterweights. Ryan lacked the athleticism, defense boxing skills, or foot speed to defeat a fighter like Shakur. We saw how Ryan was turning his back on Duarte the entire fight in an awkward, submissive move that almost seemed like he giving up when attacked. If Ryan thought like that against Shakur or an equality fighter at 135 or 140, he would be brained in the back of the head and knocked out on the spot. The referee who worked the Garcia-Duarte fight last night, James Green, was warning Duarte for hitting Ryan in the back. He was not telling Ryan to stop turning his back on him, which was very weird. How does a referee not tell a fighter not to turn their back to an opponent? Green should have warned Ryan, but he didn't. He also didn't warn Ryan about the illegal strength arm he used all night to keep Duarte from getting close. Ryan was extending his left arm out to prevent Duarte from closing the distance, and that's a move that the referee Green should have warned him about. You can't put a fighter like Garcia in with guys like Shakur Stevenson because he would be massacred and humiliated to the point where his career would be over. Ryan obviously won't be put anywhere near the 2016 Olympic silver medalist by his promoters at Golden Boy, and the only way that fight happens is if he ignores what his promoters are telling him. Gervonta is possibly getting elevated. I don't want it. Become a world champion is something that practically every fighter dreams of, with that salient goal in mind. They normally immure themselves into their respective gyms for years, while working tirelessly on their games once their dreams become a reality. That said, grabbing a world title, whether it's the first in collection or the 20th, has to come under certain circumstances. Ideally, fighters would rather take on the division's champion. In the lightweight division, Devin Haney held the WBA super title, Just below him, Gervonta Davis is in the possession of the WBA's regular title. A consolidation of the titles never took place, meaning the WBA allowed both fighters to carry their rings and maintain their championship status. Recently, however, Devin Haney moved up in weight. The 25-year-old held on to his 3 lightweight titles, including the WBA, but after thinking over this, he saw no point in keeping them. Now with Devin dropped at the rest of his 135-pound belts, Davis is set to be elevated. In the coming days or weeks, Davis will be notified via emails for his new status. "I don't want that shit," say Davis on his social media. "I want blood." Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.